you need to be bold enough to realize that you will make money. Everybody makes money in that.
To reject 80% of your market and focus only on 20% of the market, you need boldness, obviously.
But the biggest block that you face is probably you. Okay, that discipline, that ability to consistently act over and over again, which is why I don't personally believe in intelligence being the most important thing. I think it's the ability to act which is the most important thing. So today's session, I want you to take notes. I want you to apply the session because we're going to talk about marketing and sales. And you can measure that by seeing the results in your business starting from today. So let's introduce our guest for the day. Our guest for the day has been a speaker, a coach for companies across India for the last 20 years. He's going to bring all that information to you today. He is an IIM Lucknow alumni and he was the top of the class, okay, when he was studying. That's the man that will be giving us knowledge today. He's an author of two best-selling books on Amazon called The Marketing Success Formula and Shifting Gears, and we'll be talking about one of those books today. But he's known as the marketing evangelist by the marketing and sales community, and he likes to call himself an outsourced chief marketing officer for your company if you're aiming to grow your marketing and sales. So please help me welcome Mr. Rajesh Srinivasan, who will be with us, helping all of us as entrepreneurs, no matter where you're watching, okay, get our sales and get our marketing on track.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you? And thanks for joining us.
Yeah, doing really well. Thank you so much. I'm really excited.
Yes, I'm super excited. I'm super excited because I want to use the information, and that's the aim that I think all entrepreneurs have. We all will be taking notes as you speak. So let's get into it. Before we come to the book, which is the main crux of our discussion today, let's set the tone. I want your point of view, and you can be open, you can be blunt, because these guys need to know the truth. What is the importance if I'm an entrepreneur, right? Which means that I may just have thought of an idea today that I'm going to get into business, or I may be in business for some years with a small team struggling. What is the importance, according to you, of marketing and sales in my life as an entrepreneur?
Peter Drucker, the famous management guru, once said, there are only two main functions in an organization. It's nothing but marketing and innovation. All the other functions, yes, it has its own importance, but it has to support these two primary functions. When I say marketing, it includes marketing, sales, and CRM, and innovation. Two main critical functions of an organization. So when it comes to marketing, sales, or how it can help you as an entrepreneur to grow your organization. Number one, as a business, we have a product or service to sell. Marketing can help you to identify who your customers are. We call it as ideal customer profile. If you identify who your customer profile is, who can be an ideal fit for your product, that is the beginning point of any marketing strategy. So that is number one. You have to find your ideal market. We call it as 3M. First M is your market. Second M is your message. You have a product. How compelling you convert that product into a story, a good message which can resonate with that market. So first one is market. Second one is message. Third one is simple, media. So now you know who your market is. Now you have a good message or value proposition to them. Third, you need to find out ideal media or channels to reach out to them. You don't, to succeed in marketing, you don't need to know too many things. Just three important parameters. We call it as 3M in direct marketing. Your market,
Wow.
message, medium. If you have a fit in all these three things, your marketing ideally attracts, start getting qualified prospects into your business, then it becomes easy for your sales folks to convert all these prospects because they are your ideal customers. Your product or service resonates with them, and you have identified the right media to reach them out.
Okay.
So these are three important parameters.
Now, this is my experience with my business and also with multiple other businesses. And that is the real struggle of a day-to-day entrepreneur, which I'm sharing with you. So a lot of us know our market, right? So if you sat for a coffee with me and asked me, okay, what do you sell? I can tell you, this is what I sell, which is my message. These are the people that I sell to, and these are the channels that I am using. But what I'm not telling you as an entrepreneur, because I'm lacking funds, right, as an entrepreneur, is how consistently I'm using it, okay, and how good that message is, because it may come out good right now when I'm talking to you, because I don't have to sell to you. But when I actually have to sit on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and make those calls or, do those interviews consistently, not just 2 days, the confidence goes down because you will face rejections and then thoughts come into play. So, 2 months down the line, the market changes. So, I as an entrepreneur, and when I say I represent a community, start thinking maybe I'm not catering to the right market. Okay, maybe my message is not refined. Maybe I'm not using the right media. And then I start thinking too much. And in that thinking, there is never a right day and time to present what I have today, okay, to sell. So according to you, if as an entrepreneur I have a market, okay, it may not be the best, I have a message and I have a media that I'm using, how important is taking action on a good market, message and media versus a great one? Because the great one will never be there, right? There will always be evolution.
Most of the times what happens is, even I was working as a marketing head in a real estate company. I've consulted a lot of other companies also. Most of the times entrepreneurs think that they know their audience, they know their market. But when we go and sit with them and ask certain specific questions, like in direct marketing, we ask, what's running in your, what is the conversation which is running in your prospect's mind? Can you just write it down? What makes them awake during the night? Can you just tell me two or three points? If most of the people know just the demographics of their audience, they just say my audience is a 23-year-old person who works in so and so company and who needs my product. That's it. It's just a surface level thing. The most important part of marketing, one is the underlying element. We call it as psychographics. Why your audience needs to buy your product. It's an underlying factor. Only if you address the emotional quotient, your marketing will break through. And another important point is, I would like to share a quote from Seth Godin also. Not everybody is your customer. Most entrepreneurs are not very specific when they define their target market. It means you have to say, if you want to resonate with the right people, 80% audience, we have to be bold enough to reject 80% of the market and identify 20%. We call this as core audience, people who desperately need your product. 20% of your market. Ideally, we call this as core audience. You take any category for that matter. Let's take ice cream as an example. See, I don't consume ice cream, but occasionally, rarely, every 2 months once or 3 months once. Whenever I go outside, I have it. But my son consumes ice cream every week.
Okay.
If you are a marketer who is selling ice cream, you may consider me also as your target market. My son is
Mm-hmm.
also as a target market. Generally, this is the mistake which most of the marketers do. That
Mm-hmm.
marketers do. I am not your ideal customer. I am one step below. My son is your
Mm-hmm.
ideal customer.
Mm-hmm.
Make
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Yes,
My
yes, it
son is
does.
your ideal customer. I may buy rarely. I'm not your core audience. The
Mm-hmm.
reason why I'm telling the difference between your core audience and the other audience is my son will, you don't have to oh, push too hard to my son to
Mm-hmm.
sell your ice cream. The lesson resistant level is very less. But if you want to
Mm-hmm.
sell ice cream to me, I will resist it to the core because I have cold.
Mm-hmm.
My son
Got it.
consumes a lot of ice cream. It is very easy for you to sell more quantity to your core audience. My
Mm-hmm.
son doesn't bother about the price. He's willing to
Mm-hmm.
pay a premium price also for the ice cream.
For the
So
ice cream.
yeah, the point which I'm trying to drive across is the key question I ask every entrepreneur is your marketing efforts targeted towards not just your ideal target market, your core audience.
Mm-hmm.
Because if
Mm-hmm.
you notice, I'm a big fan of 80-20 principle. If you notice,
Yeah, Pareto, yeah.
80 percentage of your revenue will
Mm-hmm.
come from 20 percentage of your audience. 80 percentage of your profits will come from 20 percentage of your audience.
Yes,
Who those audience are? Do you really know? Can you
yes.
define those audience from demographic perspective, from your psychographic perspective, that is their emotions, why they
Mm-hmm.
buy, all those things. If
Mm-hmm.
you define all those things and then begin your marketing strategy, everything become like a free flow.
Mm-hmm.
You get leads naturally because these people desperately need your product. You don't
Correct.
get 1,000 leads. You get only 200 leads, but the conversion
Mm-hmm.
will be very easy. Most often what happens is in majority of the sales organization, even I was doing sales
Mm-hmm.
during my initial days of my career, the biggest
Mm-hmm.
complaint sales guys have is I'm not getting qualified leads. The leads which through marketing team gives us are not qualified enough. They're just dumping leads with us. The
Mm-hmm.
primary reason is you're not targeting your core audience. You're targeting the surface level audience and bringing in. They don't have that propensity to buy.
Got it. So I'm getting 2 points out of it for my answer and what we are leading to, which is the book. First is, so what I hear you saying from my perspective is that the reason the consistency is lacking, the confidence is lacking, is because I am not enjoying the process. Maybe because I'm not talking to the most qualified audience that is out there. So, I'm working and then it's feeling like it's going in a hole. And if this wasn't the case, like the resistance was lower from a customer and they were willing to hear me out, that confidence will automatically be high. So that's one thing I hear you saying. Second thing is, let's say for a moment that I have figured that out. When I say let's say the community has figured a part of it out. Okay, they are through that process. So how important is action and why does that happen? And then let's, just kind of get into the book so that we can utilize the lessons to improve ourselves. Because if we don't, answer this question, any information that they get today, which is super powerful, they will not use it.
It's an issue of mindset. So,
Mm-hmm.
so I know that this is my core audience, that is my market. Then I have to, right, as you said, consistently focus my marketing message, media, everything to that one particular audience. That is, focus is the number one principle.
Mm-hmm.
Second, what happens is in the minds of not just for entrepreneurs, in the human mind is our mind will not simplify things. Our mind tend to complicate things. That is the nature of our mind. When I say that,
Why?
it's the nature of the mind. If we are very conscious, we can avoid it through a lot
Mm-hmm.
of other meditative practices and all the other things. But mind tends to complicate. Even entrepreneurs' minds tend to work even more faster than the normal people's mind. See, what
Mm-hmm.
happens is when I sit with entrepreneurs and try to understand them, what happens is it's not their mistake, I would say. For example, if I tell them now, I'm just giving you an example while sizing their market. If I tell them your market size is 2000, 3000 numbers, why don't you just focus on just this 100, 200 audience? Use your core audience. They immediately tend to think that, oh, I have to say no to all those 800 of, immediately there comes a fear. To be specific, to say no, you have to be bold. That is what I would suggest or recommend. It means
Mm-hmm.
to reject 80 percentage of your market and focus only on 20 percentage of the market. You need boldness, obviously. That's what Steve Jobs did when he invented Apple iPhone. Even today, Apple doesn't focus the entire market. They only focus on their core audience. Core audience.
Mm-hmm.
People will stand in the queue
20%.
and buy.
Mm-hmm.
They clearly communicate in everything that this product is not for everybody. This product is definitely not for it. They reject 80 percentage of the market. They sell only less volume when compared to Samsung, but they are the biggest brand. They are the second most profitable brand in the world. They don't spend huge money on advertising because their audience have a lot of YouTube channels. They create content for Apple. So it's a question of how we are how it's the question of focus. Again, it's the question of being bold, saying that yes, I have only 100 core audience. If I satisfy them, that 100 core audience will bring another 200 or 300. The word spreads very fast. I gave you an example of ice cream, right? My son, after eating the ice cream, he posts about that ice cream where he ate ice cream in Instagram. When his friends come to my home, he shares his experience about what type of ice cream he ate. That is the benefit. Core audience.
Marketing.
I am a core audience of marketing. I talk about marketing a lot.
Yes.
You're a sales leader. Wherever you go, you observe your own self. You talk about sales. You talk about sales books. My son, that is the definition of core audience. So to answer your question straightly, we need to focus and say no to 80 percentage of the thing, for which we need some boldness. It's all about mindset. Mindset of an entrepreneur.
Now, let's get into the book. We've already started talking about it. If I had to pick up your book today, right? What is the philosophy of the book? What are the things that we can use? And this is where I will, request the audience to pour questions from a marketing perspective and a business perspective. But can you take us a deep dive into the book and things that we
Yeah.
can take away from it?
So this is the first book which I've written. It's called Marketing Success Formula. So this is not a big book, and I've intentionally avoided marketing and business jargons in it. And the target audience for this book is small and medium entrepreneurs who wants to understand the basics, very basics of marketing. Since I'm passionate about marketing, I met a lot of people and try to understand. Since they also know that I am passionate about marketing, they used to interact with me, share their experiences, both the plus and minus. So based on the interaction with them and based on what I have studied and researched, I thought there are some patterns emerging, especially in the small and medium business. I'm not talking about big corporations like Coca-Cola or Facebook, especially small and medium entrepreneurs, which is a huge market. So I came up with 4 simple steps which a small and medium business owners can use to understand the marketing, set their marketing process right. The book's subtitle, I've kept it as Definitive Guide to Attract More Customers, Increase the Sales and Profits. Whatever I've shared this with you, I've put down a simple framework, simple 4-step formula which can help entrepreneurs to grow their business. So the 4-step marketing success formula, which I call step 1, is choose a specific target market.
Mm-hmm.
The word specific is very, very important here. Don't just choose a target market, choose a specific target market. I'll give you an example. For example, if you're a sales leader, I'm just giving you one sales leader for real estate companies. This is very specific. Sales leadership coaching for startups. This is specific. Now, sales leadership coaching is like a mass market product. When I say go deep dive, choose a specific, choose a niche, it gives you an edge. That is what I say in step one. It gives you an immediate advantage. When you start saying, I am a sales leadership coach for a real estate company, number one, what happens is when I am a real estate employee, immediately your message resonates with me.
Yes.
And you can usually choose a media to reach out to me. You don't have to advertise in a mass media. You can even take a list of database of the real estate people in the market, and you don't have to spend huge money on market.
Correct.
That is the benefit of choosing a specific target market. Number two, create a unique selling proposition for that specific market. So it means if you're selling a sales lead, I'm just giving you as an example since we both are interacting.
Yes.
If you create a sales leadership coaching for a real estate company, if you can spend 1 month or 2 month time with real estate folks, you can clearly understand what problems they are facing and what other real estate courses are there which is not addressing all those challenges. You can understand a lot of things and then create a unique proposition for real estate sales and marketing guys. So number two is create a unique selling proposition to that specific target market. That is the number two step.
Got it.
Number three, choose the right media to show your marketing message to your ideal market. Now here we are combining all the first, second and third step. Now for step one, you have identified a specific market, that is real estate sales coaching. Number two, you have a good sales course for real estate marketers. That is your unique value proposition. Now third one is you choose a right media to reach out to your specific target market and show your value proposition to them. I'll give you an example. Now, for example, if you identify real estate as a segment, they have some publication, something like Builder's Line, or you can use that media to reach out to the audience. It's very simple and core media. You don't have to use a lot of media.
Correct.
You choose that media and show your value proposition, which is nothing but, I'm just simplifying it, real estate sales and marketing course to improve your sales 10x without wasting huge money. Simple value proposition. That is your marketing message. You're addressing to that specific market. These are the first three steps. Very important steps. Then fourth step is nothing but once after you advertise, you get leads, right? Since it is very, very specific, you get only limited amount of leads. But those leads have high buying propensity. Let me give you an example. If you advertise as sales leadership coaching for everybody, for all entrepreneurs, and advertise in a mass media or a Facebook or Instagram, you get a lot of leads. You get a lot of leads. But when you advertise sales and marketing coaching for real estate, you get only limited amount of leads.
Correct.
But these leads have high propensity to buy because you have a very, very unique proposition written for me, just for me.
Correct.
So those three processes will help you to attract your ideal audience so that you don't have huge resistance to sell your product, number one. You don't have to spend huge money on media because you know specifically who your audience are. The targeting becomes easy. majority of the companies or majority of the marketers focus only on acquisition. They don't
Mm,
focus or spend much time on retaining their customers or satisfying their customers.
mm,
Now you have got prospects, and one of them have decided to go ahead with your course, sales leadership coach. So
mm.
you have come, you have charged a lakh rupee for them. And one more advantage, if you choose a specific market and specific value proposition, is you can charge a premium fee to them.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
Instead of charging 30,000, 40,000 for your conventional leadership coach, you have charged 1 lakh rupee for a sales leadership. I've bought it,
Correct.
and I'm extremely happy with your presentation. And then what happens next?
Hmm,
Same client, we need to find ways to engage with them on a longer run. If you
hmm,
think of marketing not just from an acquisition perspective
hmm,
or retaining our customers, servicing them on the long run, you don't need too many clients,
hmm,
especially if
hmm.
you're in a consulting business, thought leadership business, training business. I'm just addressing you, I'm considering you as my target
Correct.
market.
I got it. Okay. So let me summarize this and then we come to the final thoughts for today. There are four steps. Okay. Step number one is you have to be very specific with your target audience. If you're an insurance seller, if you're a restaurant, if you're a repair guy, if you're a digital marketer, if you're an engineer, whatever you do, right, you have to be very, very specific. Who are you selling this to? So, it's not about the broad audience. So think about Facebook. It will then ask you further questions of exactly which target audience you're focused at. So you need to think like that when you do this. Step number two, you need to have a USP. Now, USP doesn't has to be rocket science. Sometimes a great service is a USP. Listen, I am available to my customer over the weekends and after hours, I service them as well. This is a USP, right? Like a lot of people are fine with that. Step number three then is choosing the right media. And it doesn't have to be expensive if you think about it, right? Do I need YouTube? And when I say I'm talking about you thinking in your head. Or do I need Yellow Pages? Should I use Google? Should I use all? It depends upon who you're catering to. And it is possible that you don't need to spend a lot of money on media. It depends on your business, right? And your intelligence will help you figure that out if you just think through and you talk to a couple people in your association. Step number four is, and I think this is where I wanted to kind of inject, as an entrepreneur, what really happens, which is where I think people lose business. You sell like so many times. I think it's just the human tendency. You get excited when the sale happens and you think you've now got the money and you're done for now, and then the service level drops. Okay, for successful entrepreneurs, when they sell, the service level goes up because now they know they are responsible to deliver that product. Then the whole process of knowing that this customer will buy from you again, you have to trust that process, because if you are providing the product that you promised, okay, and you're servicing them right with your USPs, okay, you will get repeat business a lot of times even without asking. And that repeat business can be from the same customer, it can be a referral, it can be word of mouth. All these things are repeat businesses if you look at it from that perspective. And let's say you've not got the repeat business for 6 months after the contract is over. Just giving them a call and being in touch, not just because it's about sales, it's just the right practice to do because you're building your brand, is a very good activity because they will remember you. And it can just be like, how are you doing? Just wanted to stay in touch with you. How's everything going? Okay, I in the last 6 months have been up to these things. So I just wanted to stay in touch with you. If you need anything, know that I'm a call away. Okay, that's it. You don't really need to go ahead and sell that product to them. If you trust this process and you are good at what you do, which comes from work ethic and doing it again and again, and honing that skill, which is an ongoing process, you will not have to worry about sales. I think that's what I've got out of the session so far, right? Now, can you please summarize the session let's say you had not me, you had 100 people sitting in front of you right now. What would you want to leave us with? Like, what would be your last message?
If you, as a marketer or an entrepreneur, you don't have to know too many things. My mentor used to tell me, you don't have to be, Rajesh, you don't have to be good at 1283 things. That is the fundamental premise of me writing this book and doing consulting work. You have the mindset, in the entire mindset, we just need to have this one principle. I've even learned a principle called Occam's razor. It's a philosophical razor which you use to cut complexity. The principle says that whatever is simple, it tends to work. Whatever is complex doesn't work. It applies to everything in life. Occam's razor. So whenever I struggle in my marketing strategy, I just have to eliminate a lot of things and come down to the basics, the very basics of things. Like what I said, your ideal target market, or you, whatever challenge you face, whenever you face, yes, I'm getting a lot of leads, but these leads are not converting. What happens? You don't start doing a lot of other marketing activities. Stop. Go back to the basics. Am I targeting the right market? Am I talking to my right audience? In direct marketing, they call it as message to market fit. Is your message fits to your market? Everything begins there. Then am I using right message, media channel to reach out that market? It's very, very simple. It's dangerous because when I try to say things very, very simple, as I rightly said, our mind tends to complicate things.
Yes.
When we simplify things, people don't believe it.
Yeah.
I say only three things. Only three
it has
things.
to be complicated, right? It has to be complicated for the mind, for it to work.
When you try to showcase yourself as an expert, people expect you to give a lot of yarns, do this, do that, 100, 200. I never think myself as an expert because I try to simplify things for my clients or any entrepreneur. My sincere recommendation would be try to simplify your marketing as make it very easily for you, especially make it very easy for your audience, so that you naturally start getting your business becomes an attracting force in the market. You become another principle is don't try to become relevant for too many people. We lost our edge. We lose our edge.
I think what you said is very essential. I want to really thank you, genuinely thank you for taking out time to actually share all this stuff. It's very simple and powerful, and it's just very difficult for people to understand the importance of this, because if your eventual goal is to be successful, I think you can achieve this, by just following what you said. Learning continues, but if you use this, I think you can get success.